Hi, I'm Kerri-Ann of H2 Consultancy. Today I wanted to talk to you about flexible working, home working, and how businesses are really going to have to consider it as we phase out of the pandemic and coming out of lockdown. So I'm joined today by Nick Foskett, who is CFO of Health Shield. This is a business who focus purely on health and well-being. So thank you, Nick. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Kerri-Ann. Good to be here.
Yeah, great. How are you? Are things all right at home?
Yeah, all good. It's the sun's back out today around here, so it's all nice. Enjoying it, and the start of another busy week.
Oh, I know. It's been nice to enjoy lunch with my little boy in the garden today. You do the same, don't you?
Yeah, I've been doing the same. Yeah. I've been out there. He's back at school tomorrow, but he's back home today. So.
Oh gosh, I bet that's brought new challenges as well, hasn't it? Fitting back into a new routine.
Yeah, he seems to be enjoying it, so hopefully that continues. But yeah, it's good for him to get back there.
No, I'm sure it has. Well, part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you today was that your business, from our perspective, kind of working alongside you, is really, we can see that you've handled working from home really well in terms of the way you've communicated with people within the business. And so I thought, what better person than to ask questions about how you've managed it, really, how you've handled it.
Yeah.
So the first question is, what was it like for you and your business before, in terms of how you were working?
Yeah. So pre-COVID, we always looked to offer flexibility. That's the sort of business that we were. So we were predominantly an office-based business though. So we've got a number of salespeople who are out in the field and always working from home. But the bulk of the employees are office-based. But within that, we always offered flexibility. We always tried to be a good flexible employer. We offered flexi time, so people worked within their core hours, but then outside of that, they're free to start late, finish early, work longer hours, and have an early Friday, things like that. So we always did offer that flexibility, but within an office-based environment predominantly. So there were bits and pieces of home working around, of people could, if they needed to, have a day from home if the thing's going on and needs to be. But yeah, we were generally an office-based business.
And I think even just those little pockets of having the option just to do a little bit of work from home if you needed it, that's probably more flexible than most businesses are, or were, because hopefully there'll be a new breed of businesses coming. But so from that perspective, I think that's part of the reason why I wanted you on here today, is that Health Shield had a positive story to tell before COVID, let alone with how you've developed over the last 12 weeks. So I guess that brings me on to the next question. How have things been? How have you had to adapt over the last 12 weeks? Like, what have you done differently?
So I think the big thing, like a lot of businesses, is this came, I was going to say out of the blue, but it wasn't really out of the blue. We were having daily meetings with the exec team to sort of plan what was going on, what was happening with COVID, what did that mean for the business. And on the Monday, we literally had our meeting that morning where we were saying, we think lockdown's going to come in a week's time. So let's use this week to sort of plan what we're going to do and work towards that. And then surprisingly, then that very evening, we then all got the blimey, it's all happening a hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But it was a bit of, well, how do we go about doing this? Because we've got a lot of operational staff. So we have got people who can easily work from home. We've got the infrastructure in place to be able to work from home. But there was only a set batch of people that had got laptops and things like that to do it on a regular basis. Most people had got thin clients, desktops and things like that.
Right.
Everyone around that time was trying to desperately get hold of laptops because of going into lockdown. So we managed to get hold of a limited number, but we then had to move. We were sending people home with the desktops, buying dongles that allow them to connect up to Wi-Fi rather than having to cable them in. So basically we went through and looked at, well, who needs to go from home? What are the most critical ones? Who has the ability to work from home? Who's got the space for a desktop? who's got the ability to cable it in versus who needs Wi-Fi, and then prioritise the laptops down. And within the space of less than a week, I think it was by the Wednesday or the Thursday that week, we'd got the majority of people working from home. So we, as a financial services business, we all class as key people. So we kept the office open, but we didn't think it was the right thing to do. We wanted to get everyone home where possible.
Yeah.
So there was a core batch of people that we kept in the office, that we needed, so the likes of paper claims. So some of our customers don't use online claiming. We've got some vulnerable older customers, so we wanted to keep, if we could, the ability for them to carry on with the paper claims. Also got our post and fulfillment team in-house. Obviously that can't work outside of the office. So
yeah, of course.
We did keep a small sort of core batch of people in there that had to, but everyone else was back at home and working from home. Like I said, luckily we've got the infrastructure in there to allow that to happen. And by and large, it worked really well for us. We didn't have too many problems at all. You get the odd issue here and there with things, with connectivity and that. But it's been really good, really positive for everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's what seems to have come out of it for a few businesses, especially ones like yours, where businesses have realised actually this is possible. You know, we can, if we need to, if we want to, if it's right for our business, we can be more flexible. We can have people working from home, you know, unless you're in my house and my internet just died instantly as soon as we all logged on. So we had to upgrade our internet. But, you know, I think it's great that your business evolved so quickly. Like you, we found out it was on the Monday night, and I'd only just started thinking, right, we might need to work from home as of this week. And then by the Wednesday we were at home as well. And so I think it hit me as well. We always knew it was coming, but I just didn't think it was going to be that week. But the fact that you were able to mobilise people working from home, because how many people do you have on site?
So on site, it's about 130, around that sort of number.
That's a big task, isn't it?
It was a lot of work, and to be fair, the IT guys worked their socks off to get it all done. But yeah, it went a lot better than we envisaged, and as I said, it shows that working from home does work, and does work well. As you were saying there, people have internet problems every now and then. It doesn't happen that much. You see people's kids rather than their internet dropping a lot more. It's been quite one of the fun bits of the working from home that you do.
Definitely. I've seen that many bedrooms and kitchens and living spaces and kids popping heads up, my own as well. You know, I think it actually humanises things a little bit more. You know, I actually feel closer to some of our clients and candidates because you've really got to know their families as well, more so than before.
I think that's it. I think previous to this, I think people saw it as being a bit frowned on if they were working from home and the family got involved, whereas I think it's just become accepted. People are at home, they've got family life, and that's sort of what we've wanted to do. We've tried to do it, as I was saying before, we were always quite flexible before. We've tried to be as flexible as we can with things like that. We understand that people have got their kids at home that normally be at school, and they've got their wives, husbands, they've got the families there.
Yeah.
And there's people in different situations. Some people have got both parents working and kids to look after. So yeah, we've allowed people to be as flexible as they need to. If they need to log on early and work early and then spend a couple of hours or spend the afternoon doing their childcare duties and then log back on in the evening. Whatever works. Obviously it's within the different teams, different workloads and different time frames work, but we've been as flexible as we can with people to make sure it does fit in with the home life and everything else that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a challenge for businesses, but you've proved that it works as long as you have a little bit of creativity, a little bit like letting people work the hours that they can around the day. Because, you know, if you're homeschooling, you can't sadly work, let's say, a 9 till 5 job, because that's obviously when the kids need some sort of teaching.
If you've got younger kids as well,
Yeah, Exactly, yeah. So what do these start to look like now, as because I'm sure your business is starting to think about and plan for the future, so the
Yeah.
next, few months, weeks for some businesses. I know lots of businesses are returning already, but what are your plans? How are you approaching this new normal that we find ourselves in?
Well, I think one of the big things that we've tried to do throughout this, and that sort of led us into thinking about what we do for the future, is we've tried to speak to our people on a regular basis. So throughout lockdown, throughout the home working, we've been doing corporate briefs to keep people updated with what's going on, how the business is progressing throughout COVID. So there's a lot of nervousness of people seeing other businesses having big problems, so we make sure people are aware of how things going. And we've done a lot of Slido, so it's basically a Q&A session where people we get the whole business on there, and they can use Slido to ask questions. They can put the name, or they can do it anonymously if they want.
Yeah.
So that's worked really well. We've got some really good feedback from people in terms of what their concerns are, what's going well, what isn't. And so that's fed into a lot of the thinking and a lot of the work that we've been doing. So they've been really helpful in keeping people informed and engaged. It's probably, in terms of what we think, it's probably not been a massive surprise, but we're sort of getting to the point now where you've got some people are starting to get a bit fatigued, a bit fed up of the homework, and some people are finding it difficult. I think the people that got both parents and probably young kids, where they're both working and trying to get that balance of getting their work done but looking after the family, I think that some of those people are finding things tough. You've also got some people on one side that are absolutely desperate to get back into the office.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that.
That are very nervous about getting back into the office whilst COVID and things like that are still around. So it's sort of, we need to do the right thing for our people. We are starting to plan. Ultimately, the culture of Health Shield and the people and being in the office, that is part of the business, that is part of the culture. So ultimately, we don't want to be a fully home working business. That's not what we are. But we need to be receptive to people's feelings and wants. So ultimately, we're going to be driven by the workload. There has been a drop off workload on the operational side in particular. So it'll be seen when things start picking up. See lockdown starting to ease now. See how things like that progress. But we're in no rush to take people back. We're not setting a date of, by this date we're going to have everyone back in the office. We'll sort of, as it stands at the moment, we've got no plans to get people back into the office, but we are planning it out. We've got our plans as to how we can make the office COVID secure. We've already got to be able to do that. So we know exactly how the office needs to be. We've got a bit of lead time to get that ready, but that will be in place. But and even once that's in place, it's not a sort of case of that's in place, all right, everyone back in. When is the right time? When do we need to bring people back for business reasons? Plus also, when's the right time for the people to be able to bring them back? We do things like bringing some of the people back who want to, get them spread out once the office is in its COVID secure state. Have the ability for those people that are living on their own in flats and things like that, maybe that want to come into the building, bring those back when they want to, and then open it out to more people as and when the operational volumes start ramping up. So that's the plans at the moment, but things are continually evolving.
I can imagine they will evolve as well, especially over the next few weeks when we see, hopefully, things being eased down by the government. But I think doing it as you're saying there, on a bit of a phased return, but also welcoming people back who want to come back, because I think that's really important for their mental health, isn't it? If your business has the capacity to bring some people back and can make the environment safe, bring them back. That's kind of my thought at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We've got quite a big office, so we have, certainly in the early stages, if we bring a few people back, we've got a lot of room to be able to spread people out, keep people separate, have very small numbers near a kitchen and toilets and things like that. So
yeah,
that's the current thinking, but as ever, things change very quickly at the moment.
That's it. You've got to be prepared to adapt very quickly, haven't you, and have those senior management conversations. Well, that brings this little interview to a close, really. So